Good morning, everybody. This is Joe Palone from Behind the Cheese, coming to you with another take from Green Bay Packer knowledge and experience and history of my love for the Green Bay Packers. With this upcoming weekend with Green Bay at Dallas, 2.5 days from now, it is about 3:45 a.m. Packers will be playing 4:30 on Sunday, and it is now 3:45 a.m. January 12th, 2024, Friday. And I just wanted to kind of touch base on something that I said yesterday on my post. I forgot, not that I forgot, I just been busy working and stuff, so I kind of rushed through it. We were talking about the 66 and 67 season games against Dallas in the playoffs, championship games. Then I kind of jumped to 93 divisional round, 94 divisional round losses, and 95 championship game loss. Packers had lost to Dallas in Dallas 3 years in a row, which was crushing, absolutely crushing. Broken heart, as I mentioned in the title. And then the Packers would get a little bit of revenge with Rodgers. Those other 93, 94, 95s with Favre, those losses in Dallas. And in 2014, the Packers actually got a home game against the Cowboys, and Rodgers and the Packers won that one. And then in 2016, Packers had a thrilling victory against Dallas in Dallas, which was actually also awesome. And was a surprise. Sorry about this. But I wanted to kind of touch base on a 1982 game. The 1982 was a shortened season because of the strike. I was 10 years old. The Packers had not made the playoffs in my lifetime at that point. I was in fifth grade. I thought it was Christmas every day that year, although the strike year. Let me give you a little history. That summer, I went and I've showed you on my uh, YouTube channel before that I met Bart Starr, and that was awesome. Bart Starr was a legendary quarterback of the Packers in Super Bowl I, Super Bowl II, and his 5 championships. He was at that point now the coach, and I was 10 years old. The Packers had not sniffed the playoffs in my lifetime. Got to really check on that. I was born in 1972, July 18th. The Packers did make the playoffs in 72. So basically, I'm not want to lie and say that they didn't make the playoffs because they did, but I was about 6 months old. So I don't really remember it, obviously. So for 10 years of my life, the Packers did not get into the playoffs. They always had losing seasons, and I never thought that I would ever see my Green Bay Packers in a playoff game. That summer, again, going back, I know I'm jumping around a little bit. So the 82 summer, I would go up to Green Bay. I didn't go to a game, but I went to the Hall of Fame, and we went to the training camp, and I met Lynn Dickey, James Lofton, John Jefferson, just naming a few people. I'm name dropping here. Mark Murphy, not the Mark Murphy that's the CEO, the Mark Murphy who was the safety that played for the Packers. Although Mark Murphy, who was the CEO for the Packers, also played safety. But I'm talking about another Mark Murphy. Mark Lee, Ezra Johnson, just to name a few Packers that I met at that time. Larry McCarron. Um, but anyway, met Bart Starr, took a picture with him. I showed you on my channel before. I can bring it up again maybe this weekend to show you. Well, the Packers, living in New Jersey, they would play the Jets that year. They would lose. I would go to the game. They lost 15-13. They also played the Giants on Monday Night Football when the lights went out. That was the last game before the strike. Packers did win that game. Beautiful game. They were down 19-7, came back and won 27-19, put them to 2-0. I believe it was 2-0, yes. And then they went on strike. Then they would come back mid-season, about November, and the Packers would wind up going 5-3-1, and they would actually make the playoffs in a strike-shortened season. But again, so I went to the Giant game, I went to the Jet game, being in the area, and then the Packers, my beloved Packers, made the playoffs for the first time in a um, short season. Packers would beat the Cardinals in the first round of the playoffs, a game at Lambeau Field, 41-16, and then they would get a ticket to Dallas in the second round of the playoffs, the divisional round. And Pat Summerall and John Madden did the game. James Lofton had an unbelievable reverse for a touchdown, about 83 yards. Mark Lee had a beautiful interception for a touchdown. James Lofton also had a receiving catch for a touchdown. And that was 21. Yeah, they also actually missed an extra point. And then Jan Stener kicked 2 field goals. Those are real big highlights of the game. Another bomb to Lofton, too, for a big pickup. from Dickey to Lofton. But the Packers would fall there 37-26 in Dallas. But at that point in my life, never sniffing a playoff game, not really understanding, understanding the significance, but never really experiencing it as a Packer fan at that age. I had read about the Packers of the 60s. My dad had told me about how great they were, the dominance with Lombardi, and the 5 championships in 7 years, all that stuff. But for me to had met Bart Starr that summer, then to have him be the coach, the legendary player, and then to play the Dallas Cowboys, who we beat in the Ice Bowl, who Tom Landry was the coach in the Ice Bowl, and he was still the coach for the Cowboys in 1982, which was amazing. Just a lot of history around that game. But I will say, what a broken heart I had. That was kind of the key to my statement here. Was the broken heart? Key to the post today. Broken heart. Packers losing, getting close. If they would have won that game, they'd have been in the championship game to play Washington. Washington did go on and beat Dallas and then win the Super Bowl that year. And I've talked to you before about that unbelievable game in 1983 that the Packers upset the Washington football team. They were called the Redskins back then. The next year, 48-47 in a thrilling Monday night game that I kind of mentioned on my YouTube channel before. Anyway, broken heart, 1982. Hopefully not have a broken heart this weekend. Just wanted to touch base on that. Kind of bothered me all day that I didn't mention that game. Mentioned it before, but didn't mention it yesterday. A little bit of Packer news. I heard that Alexander, our cornerback, rolled his ankle a little bit. Wasn't in a boot. I got to really look at the sound. I didn't listen to the sound of the coaches yesterday or the press conferences. I will get to it a little bit later. Just got to go work out, get myself together today. It is Friday. Very excited. Go Pack Go. Joe Pallone from Behind the Cheese. We are 2.5 days away from kickoff. Go Pack Go.